That's the moon. It's like you got to be yourself. You can't be anybody else, right? Hey there, Capricorn, and welcome to your week of November 8th, 2021 General Tarot reading. We're going to be looking at your energy coming into this week, some challenges you might be facing, some possible outcomes for you as well. We're going to clarify all those cards and tie everything off with an oracle card at the end of the video, so you're going to want to stick around for all that. These are general readings, though, Capricorns, or some, all, or none of this may resonate with you. If it resonates, that's great. If it doesn't, it's just not your message or not part of your message. So just don't try to make something fit that doesn't. But without further ado, Capricorn, thank you for being here. And let's look at what else we got here. We got the Emperor, the Six of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles for you. So I like this. This is a good energy for you to be coming in this week as. With the Emperor here, the big boss, the person in charge, doesn't matter your gender, it's just energy you're putting out, so that you come in very much in charge, very much in a position of authority and strength at this time, which is great. I love that. We have the Two of Pentacles here as well, which is sort of maintaining those things. The Two of Pentacles can kind of be when you're kind of caught and you can't make anything go the way you want it to go. Like it's sort of a, or I shouldn't say not go the way you want it to go, but kind of like we're not falling back, but we're not progressing forward either. We're just kind of maintaining the norm, maintaining the status quo here. But with you as the boss, that's fine, right? You're in charge. You're doing things you want to do. You're in control here, and maintaining that is great. So that's fantastic. And we've also got the Six of Cups here as well. So I feel like maybe you're a bit nostalgic at this time, or perhaps recently came into some gifts. As you can see, there's one cup being given to another person here in this card. But again, it could be nostalgic, could be maybe recently reintroduced yourself to someone from your past. You two have gotten back together, reconnected in that way, which is awesome. Or it could just be saying maybe you're kind of nostalgic for the past, maybe where you wore an emperor, where you were the boss. Maybe now you're not so much that anymore. The Emperor can also be the sign of Aries, so you may have Aries in your chart, or you might be dealing with Aries as well. If you do, let me know down in the comments below. But let's move on. Let's see what we got coming in for your challenges here as well, Capricorn. See what's going on there. Take a look. If you can see Spike's little paw here off the side of the camera, he's just giving me the stink eye here. He just wants me to be patting him or not making so much noise so he can sleep. Well, let's take a look at your challenges, Capricorn. We got the Fool coming in. We got the King of Pentacles. And we got the Seven of Pentacles here as well. All right. So it's interesting the King of Pentacles comes out here because the Emperor is all of the minor arcana kings put together. So it's interesting that that would come out. Maybe at this time you're having a little more trouble with your wealth, your health, and your time. So maybe we're having a bit of trouble when it comes to scheduling, when it comes to what you're actually doing with your time. Maybe you're having a little bit of sickness at this time, or maybe it's something as simple as maybe put on a few extra pounds that you didn't mean to. Or maybe we're having a little bit of financial trouble here at this time as well. With the Fool, we're also having a bit of a challenge with starting something up here too. So I feel like there's this need or this want or this desire to take a leap of faith at this time too. So maybe you really want to start up like a new schedule or a new budget or something like that. Maybe you want to do this new budgeting app or something you've seen like a friend of yours has, or maybe potentially you want to start up a new diet that's really been paying off big time, or it's kind of in popular at this time as well, as those diets tend to kind of jump out and be like a keto or a vegan diet or whatever it may be for you. Maybe you've recently seen something along those lines as well. Maybe you really want to start something like that. Or maybe, like I say, maybe you want to start up a new schedule where you're kind of have more free time, or maybe more focused on your work at this time as well. But we also have the Seven of Pentacles here, so you're kind of wondering if it's going to be worth it as well, right? Maybe what you want to start up, this new schedule, this new diet, this new budget, whatever it might be you kind of wondering, is it going to be worth it? Everything, maybe back here, things seem like they're going extremely well. So it seems like maybe you might be feeling like, why mess with a good thing, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It might be something like that, or you're kind of wondering if the potential gains by switching over might, you know, this might be great, but you're just kind of a little hesitant to try this new thing, right? So let's take a look. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see what we got for your outcome cards here. Spike, on the move, as he usually is. Spike, where are you going, buddy? Oh, he's gonna take off. And there he goes. All right, Capricorn, let's take a look at your possible outcome cards here for you. Got the Four of Pentacles, Pisces with the moon coming in, and the Knight of Swords as well. All right, that's all very interesting. So the Four of Pentacles is going to tell you to play it safe, not to take any risk or anything drastic at this time, especially something risky, right? Like, especially like I said, don't take any risk, but especially when something kind of seems like there's a lot of chance to it or a lot of like maybe unknowns, like where we talk about like keto diets, for instance, where, yeah, I don't know a ton about it, but from what I understand from just like the little bit of research I've done about it is like it is good for like short term, but you wouldn't want to stay on a keto diet all the time because it's not good for you long term. In fact, I think they use it for, I can't remember, it's something like they generally keto diets, it was something to do with kids, like I think it's something about seizures or something like that. Don't quote me on that or anything, but from the research I did, that's where it came from. And like there happened to be like kids lost quite a bit of weight and put on muscle because of this, because keto, I believe, is just like an all meat diet basically. But from that, but it's just like the long-term effects, you don't want to do it long-term because it's potentially quite damaging to you. Again, that's just my own research, but where you might do your own research and find out something might be risky, like an app might be risky, a budget might be risky, a diet might be risky. And it's like, well, if that's kind of the chance and that's kind of that kind of thing, the Four of Pentacles saying like, kind of don't do that, right? Just stick to what has been working for you so far. Don't try to, you know, throw a wrench into things here. With the moon here, the moon is saying like, be yourself, right? Be yourself, you know, follow your own path here. There's a song by Oasis called Supersonic. And then the first thing they say in the song is, I gotta be myself. I can't be no one else, right? Like that's the moon. It's like, you gotta be yourself. You can't be anybody else, right? So if this has been working for you, this has been going good, it's like, just be this. This is you. You're working it. You're making things go in the way you want them to go, and you're maintaining your power throughout. It's like, don't try to be someone else. Be yourself here. So I love that. That's awesome. The moon is also Pisces card, so you might be dealing with the Pisces. Might have Pisces in your chart as well. Let me know down below if you have either of those. But we also got the Knight of Swords here as well. Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight in the deck. This is something where I feel like you're going to come to this decision rather quickly, whether you're going to go forward with this, you know, new thing or not. You can kind of look at the knights as like the Knight of Swords is the fastest, so that might be something that might take you a few days, whereas like the next one is like the Knight of Wands, where it might be a few weeks or something, and so on and so forth as you go down the speed spectrum with these guys. But with the Knight of Swords, yeah, I feel like you'll probably pretty quickly figure out like, oh yeah, this probably isn't a good idea, or it is a good idea, or maybe the risks are worth the rewards. So let's take a look and see what we got here for you for your clarifiers here, Capricorn. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it so much. Remember, after our clarifier cards, we're going to be tying everything off with an oracle card at the end, so you're going to want to stick around for that as well. And thank you again for being here, Capricorn. Let's check these clarifiers out, see what's going on. All right, we've got for you the Seven of Swords. Oh, we got crystals knocking everywhere too. Five of Swords and Eight of Swords. A lot of swords in your clarifiers to start things off. But 7, 8, and 5. Wow. With the Seven of Swords, it's kind of like, I feel like you're in an energy of like, I'm doing this all on my own, right? This is me. Like, you know, I'm relying on myself here, right? This person here, while they can't do absolutely everything, you see they had to leave 2 swords behind. They are still carrying 5 swords. They're doing quite a bit of the load here. So I feel like for you, that might be just saying like, you're doing this all at your own pace, working hard. Maybe that's the change you want to make, is you want to add someone else in. It's not necessarily like a change where it's like we're changing my current formula. Maybe you're just adding help because you realize you can't do everything on your own. Or maybe you like that. Maybe it's just like, well, it is what it is, but at least because I'm the emperor, I'm the boss, I'm doing things on my own, my way, right? So I like that. With the Five of Swords and the Eight of Swords, the Five of Swords is being very driven at this time as well, being like, this is what I'm going for, this is what I'm doing, right? Which I like that as well, where you're like, again, with the Emperor, like you're driven, you're doing what you want, you're in command, you're sure of yourself, you're doing those kind of things and making those kind of choices, and it's all working for you too. So I love that. And with the Eight of Swords here too, it can be self-imposed restrictions, and don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Sometimes it is, but with the Eight of Swords here, I'm seeing it as you sort of being disciplined, right? Emperors can very easily become tyrants, right? Where, you know, you have that power. Someone, you know, if you've ever heard the term or the phrase, someone says absolute power corrupts absolutely. I've heard it also being said as absolute, or as not absolute power, but as power reveals. It doesn't corrupt you. It actually just reveals the person you would be. So if you need to say, like, if you're a good person and you have power, you would do good things. But if you're a bad person and you gain power, you do bad things, right? But I see with the Eight of Swords here, you have those restrictions on yourself, so you aren't doing the bad things. So you are being a good emperor. You are being a good person in authority with power and being in charge. So that's awesome, Capricorn. That's fantastic. So let's clarify your challenges. See if we can get a little more insight into what's going on there. All right, more swords. More swords coming out for you. We got the Ten of Swords, we got the Ace of Cups, and we got the Nine of Cups coming in. All right, so with the Ten of Swords, again, Ten of Swords is something that's a very abrupt ending here. Could mean that you want something to end quickly, or you'd like to, or things are not ending fast enough, or you're worried things are going to end quickly. So that might be a situation for you where we were talking about how you're in control and you got your power and everything's going good. You know, we're kind of maintaining things with the Two of Pentacles that's underneath here. That might be like where you're concerned, when's the bottom going to fall out? When is this all going to end? Because I can't, you know, in theory, you can't maintain this forever. You couldn't, you know, and probably not. Like, you know, eventually there's going to have to be some sort of change or something. So I feel like that's where you're kind of looking into like those new things we were talking about with diets and schedules and budgets and such. So yeah, I feel like you're kind of worried, like, I'm going to have to make the change first so the change doesn't happen to me. With the Ace of Cups, again, I think you're looking for something, like you're looking for more fulfillment. You're looking for more emotional, like, uplifting here at this time as well. Maybe, again, thinking with a budget, for instance, where it's like, I can save more money so I can spend, you know, so I can have more fun money to do more of the things I want. And with the Nine of Cups here, having that sense of fulfillment, knowing that, like, I'm on a schedule, things are going good and such. And I'm having that sense where I can, you know, have my cake and eat it too, sort of say, right? So I like that. But again, within your challenge position, I feel like you're looking for those answers. But with our outcome cards here, I feel like whatever you're looking at currently probably isn't the answer, right? So let's take a look and clarify your outcome cards as well. See what's going on with them. Oh, excuse me. Got the Queen of Cups, got the Nine of Swords. Man, swords everywhere for you today. And we got the Eight of Pentacles. So yeah, Queen of Cups, Nine of Swords, Eight of Pentacles. With the Queen of Cups, this could be saying that you need to kind of be, maybe you need to talk to somebody, or be in that mindset of being like emotionally open or empathetic or willing to talk about how you feel. Because the Moon card represents partial illumination as well as following your own path. Like, you can't see all ends, right? The paths we walk, we kind of hope we're heading towards, you know, those things we really want in our lives. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we can see the path that leads us to that, right? So maybe what you need to do is find a Queen of Cups, someone you can be, you know, vulnerable with, someone you can talk about your emotions with, and really kind of maybe open up your own eyes and see, like, is that really what I want? You know, going down with this path here where I just change things up. Is that really what I want? Or do I want to maintain this, right? Or do I want to maintain what I've got going on now? Or do I want to do whatever, right? Really have a nice, honest talk with them about that. or just being honest with yourself. Maybe you can just kind of search your own feelings and figure this out for yourself. You know, you seem to have that kind of a, I can do this myself kind of attitude, but it never hurts to have another person's opinion, right? With the Nine of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles here, the Eight of Pentacles is saying, you know, you're willing to put the hard work in. You're willing to, you know, practice, get better at something here. So I feel like you are willing to continue to put the effort and the time in with the Two of Pentacles, maintaining what you've got going on already. Or if you do start up something new, again, we got that drive, we got the power to like figure it out, find out like, you know, what we need to do in order to gain what we want out of whatever this is, right? So I really like that. With the Nine of Swords here, again, there just might be some concerns with like, you know, is this really what I want? Is the situation I'm in what I want here, right? But it's generally, with the Nine of Swords, it's saying like you are in a good position. It's just more of like you're letting your mind kind of, you know, carry you away, you know, looking at worst case scenarios rather than being honest and looking at it in a kind of a way of like matter of factly, right? It's more of like letting our emotions take over. Which is interesting because swords represent thoughts and communication, represents like facts and like here's the truth. And interestingly enough, when we do let our emotions kind of cloud that kind of stuff, which is very, like I say, very interesting. We have mostly swords here in your clarifiers, and we have some cups kind of seeping in. I feel like your emotions, I'm not saying don't look at things with your emotions at all, but I'm just saying like, I feel like normally you probably are pretty, this is it, this is the facts, and you look at things that way, Capricorn, but maybe just now, because you're kind of seeing potential gains here for you, potential, a greater side of thing, you're kind of letting your emotions get away from you instead of looking at things in more of a objective way of whether this is worth the risk or not. So let's take a look and tie it all together with, oh my Lord, I got cards flying out everywhere. But let's take a look at your Oracle card here, tie everything off, see what's going on. Thank you so much for being here, Capricorn. I appreciate it so much for making it this far. Hope this has been resonating with you. Hope this has been helping you out in some way. But let's tie this all off and see what we got for you for your Oracle card. You got the Armadillo Spirit, set healthy boundaries. And, you know, you need to kind of set some healthy boundaries with yourself. I feel like you got it in you too, especially when we got the Eight of Swords back here. You have that ability to have that discipline, and you know when to kind of push and pull here, especially where you're the Emperor, you're in that authoritative position. I feel like you need to kind of set some boundaries with yourself and know what your limits are, right? It's always good, you know, you probably do have a pretty good idea of what your limits are when it comes to things, you know, not just like your limits of like your physical limits or your mental limits or such, but your limits on what you can accomplish by yourself or what you can accomplish in general. And it's a good idea to always kind of recheck up on them. And then maybe that's what that Queen of Cups can kind of be for you this week, is that person to kind of recheck in and see what your limits are and see what your boundaries are and see, you know, talk to someone else, you know, maybe someone who knows what you're looking for, right? Someone who, you know, maybe you know someone who has that kind of a diet or a budget or a schedule. They kind of do that same sort of thing, and ask them what they kind of feel about it and how that makes them feel. What are some challenges and such, and see if that's really what you want. If that is something that is within your boundaries and is within what you want to do, Capricorn. So that's awesome. So if you want to help out the channel, Capricorn, you can leave a like down below. You can subscribe to the channel. Check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign videos too after this one. Thank you again for being here, Capricorn, and I hope to see you in the next video.